Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tin Man Score Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I'm reacting to my third and final nighttime Spooks video for you guys today. This was titled Four True Target, Four Stories. So without further ado, I'm going to turn these lights off, move the camera up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road in the bag, shall we? Okay, here we go.
I work at Target. I am a cart attendant and my main job is pushing carts into the store from the parking lot. It's a good way to earn money to pay for college during the summer. One Saturday, I was working a closing shift, and by 10 p.m. it was pretty dead. I was walking out of the grocery side front doors to look for carts when I heard on my walkie someone say, "Cart attendant." As employees, we all carried walkie-talkies to communicate, and we would call for each other by positions if we needed things.
Before he continues with the story, I always wondered how much a cart attendant would make working at a store like Target or Walmart. Seems like you make a lot of money doing that, but not as much as like the people that stock shelves and work at the cash registers, of course. But it's still something. But let's see what happens to this person on their late night shift.
"Go ahead for cart attendant," I said. "Can you turn to channel 3? They answered. I didn't recognize the voice on the other end of the walkie. It was a man's voice and it sounded pretty average to me. I didn't think much of it because we would occasionally have managers from other Targets help out at our location if it was a busy day or if somebody called in. Plus, I spent most of my time in the parking lot, so I didn't pay attention to who was working on the inside much. I said I was going to 3 and turned the channels on my walkie. I told him I was on 3, and he asked me if I could go to the east side of the building and meet him there. I was a little confused at this request because I didn't see anyone come outside when I was pushing carts.
It's not a person that works at Target with you. Somebody must have got a hold of a walkie-talkie and they were able to contact you and change channels so nobody else would hear them. Oh boy, this ain't good.
And it seemed like kind of a strange thing to ask. But we did have a cart corral on the east side of the building, and I remembered to myself how I had forgotten to check it in a long time. I figured it was overflowing, or maybe a glass bottle broke or something. I said I was on my way and walked to the side of the building. When I got there, I didn't see anybody. I looked around. The cart corral had maybe 4 or 5 carts in it. Nothing seemed out of place, except for one car parked about 40 feet from the corral on the side of the building. It was a black SUV. There appeared to be nobody in it. I grabbed my walkie and told him I was there. He said he was closer to the back of the building and I needed to see something. I started to walk farther down to see if anybody was actually there. Just after I passed the front of the SUV, its lights turned on. It was so bright I was blinded. I heard the back doors of the SUV open. After a couple seconds, I saw 3 men walking towards me. I turned and ran as fast as I could to the front of the building. When I made it to the corner of Target, they stopped chasing me and I went inside the store. I immediately found a manager and asked them who that was talking to me on the walkie-talkie. She said she didn't know and figured it was people who bought the same walkie brand and decided to prank us. I didn't tell her about the people chasing me because I didn't want to make a big deal out of it and I figured there was nothing that could be done. I still work there and nothing like that has happened since.
I would have still told the manager about what happened. I know it'd probably be a big deal, but hey, at least you tell them to keep an eye out for suspicious people in a black SUV. Yeah, it could have been people playing a joke on them, but why would they get out of the car and start chasing them? So that tells me that ain't no prank. That was actually a bad crowd of folks that wanted to kidnap an employee. But yeah, if you're working in Target, Walmart, or any other store and somebody radioed in and you don't remember hearing their voice before, don't change the channel and listen to what they say because it might be people like this might end up robbing you or kidnapping you.
I worked at Target about 2 years ago. My main job was to stock shelves in the grocery aisles. I would spend a lot of time in the back rooms bringing items and occasionally removing them from shelves. One day, I was working an early shift. We opened at 8 a.m. and it was about 8:15. We had just opened, so the store wasn't that busy yet. I was the only person working in the back at the time, and my job was to open boxes and bring things out to the sales floor. I had to throw some things away, so I went around the corner, and on my way back I heard a noise coming from behind some crates. At first, I thought someone else came back to work with me. "Hey," I said. There was no response. I walked over to the crates, and as I got close, I saw someone run to another stack of boxes that were next to me. That led to a bunch of little aisles where we kept a lot of products before they went out to the floor. I thought it must have been someone pranking me. I laughed and followed behind the boxes to the aisles.
Oh, I don't think nobody's pranking you, dude. Somebody might have just snuck in the store and they're probably planning on stealing something. I mean, I'm just speculating right now, but you just never know.
The aisles had lots of potential hiding places, so after looking around for a few seconds, I gave up and went back to work. About an hour later, I was still the only person working back there, and I heard a large crashing noise coming from the aisles. I walked over to see a bunch of items had fallen off the shelves. I looked around, and just then, I saw from behind a box a head of a man ducked down next to it. He was dirty and had a long beard. I said in a firm voice that customers were not allowed back here and he needed to get out. He just turned and ran again. I chased after him all the way to the side entrance to the back. He sprinted out the back room and into the grocery section of the store and out the front door. The customers looked shocked at what they had seen. I called store security and they came back with me to investigate. We found out that quite a few items were missing from the back shelves. There were empty wrappers from food he was eating all over the place. He made quite a mess. We figured it must have been a homeless man that somehow snuck into the back room and stayed there all night hidden, despite us having an overnight crew that works. As far as I know, he was able to get away with it.
Dang. I was hoping that they were able to look at their security cameras and call the cops and see if they could go find that guy. But he was a homeless man. He would probably just skip town and go somewhere else. And you won't be able to find him. But what in the world would he take out in the back storage room? I mean, if it was like something easy to grab, like food items, and ate some there in the store and took the rest with him. But that would be crazy to find that a homeless person snuck in and was hiding in the back room. I'm just glad that employee did not get assaulted by that guy.
I shop at Target quite a bit. One day, I was doing my weekly grocery shopping. It was a Saturday and about 11 o'clock in the morning. The store was pretty busy as it was a weekend, but despite all the people, I noticed a man that seemed to always be in the same aisle as me. It seemed like just a coincidence, and I continued shopping. But every aisle I went down, he would appear at the end of it soon after.
Oh, crap. It's a stalker. If he keeps on going down at the end of every aisle that this person's on, then that tells you he was following you. I want to jump ahead, so let's just see what happens next.
I tried to ignore it, and finally I finished my shopping and headed to the checkouts. I got in line to check out, and after about 30 seconds, the man appeared from the clothing section and got in line behind me. He looked to be in his 40s and had brown hair and a medium build. I looked, and he only appeared to be buying one thing, which was a bottle of water. I was really disturbed by that, after I know he'd been following me around the entire store. After I checked out, I got my stuff and walked very quickly out the doors. I turned around and saw the man looking at me as I walked out the door. I walked to my car as fast as I could and put in the bags. I looked around and didn't see the man, so I got in my car and drove away. About 5 minutes into the drive, I turned off the highway and I saw a car turn off right behind me. I got a bad feeling and I looked in my mirror to see what appeared to be a man driving the car behind me. I couldn't see well enough to know for sure, so I took a turn at the next road just to be safe, and the car turned as well. At that point, I knew it had to be the same man that was following me. I took out my phone and looked up the nearest police station. It was about 12 minutes away, so I drove there. The man followed me all the way there every single turn until I pulled into the police station, and he kept going down the road. I stayed there for about an hour and finally went home. I made it home safe, but unfortunately, I didn't get his license plate. I just hope he didn't do that to anybody else. That was by far the scariest thing I ever experienced at Target.
Oh man, I hope he doesn't follow anybody else either, but you never know, he might have. And if he does, I hope somebody else gets his license plate number, because that would be scary. This is why, if you feel like you're being followed in the store, you should have gone to a manager or an employee and let them know about it and see if they could do anything to get him out of the store. But it was a smart move to go to the police station because he wasn't going to go there either. And they got out of there safe and sound.
I used to work at Target when I was in high school. I pushed carts and I really enjoyed the job because I could be outside and get exercise. I was also responsible for maintaining the bathrooms, however, which was my least favorite part of the job. Every hour on the half, we had to go in and make sure everything was in order in the bathrooms.
Oh, I know that would probably be a pain in the butt to work on too, because people always like to crap up a lot of toilets. Then the employees have to go in there with a toilet brush and clean it thoroughly and sanitize the toilet seats. That's one job I would not want to do in a store.
Usually it was, but occasionally I had to refill a soap dispenser or something. It was about 9:30 p.m., so the store was pretty quiet. I went in to check on the bathrooms. I walked into the men's and opened the door to the far stall on the end to check it out. I immediately had to do a double take after what I saw. In the toilet and overflowing from the toilet were electronic security cases. The kind of clear plastic cases that go over video games or memory cards, or any kind of small electronics that stores sell. They were in the toilet and overflowed onto the floor and were all over the floor as well. There had to be at least 200 of them. I was so confused I didn't know what to think. At first, I thought maybe somebody in the electronics department quit, and on their last day, they decided to do a prank or something. Maybe somebody stole a bunch of items and left the cases in the bathroom. But how on earth did they get all these cases into the bathroom without being seen in the first place? I walked out of the bathroom and called the store security. He said he would meet me in a couple minutes. I went out and got a quick run of carts and then went back to the bathrooms with security. When I got back to the stall, everything was gone. I couldn't believe my eyes. I felt so stupid, but surprisingly, security said they believed me. I don't know how the cases got there or got out, but I know what I saw.
Okay, I'm stumped on that too, because security camera would have spotted somebody walking into the bathroom suspiciously and then come right back out. So they probably just snuck in there with them security cases that had video games or camera cartridges, like he said, and left the cases there. But then, how in the world did they not see nobody go back in there and get the cases out of there? That's strange. But then why would you dump them in the toilet? If you're trying to get rid of security case evidence, I thought you were trying to hide them in the trash can or something. Hopefully they find out who did it and get them, because that's just wrong. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more nighttime spooks content like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man's Quarter Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor. I say that's a wrap, and have a nice day, y'all.